India has great potential in terms of technology, trained manpower,
Correct.
good products, cost effectively produced.
Correct.
But
Maybe there are foundrymen here who are not part of IIF,
right,
and they wouldn't have heard about what Wescon is.
right.
So, just in layman terms, what is Wescon?
Yeah. The major part which at least my focus has been at Wescon this year. Also this year we are doing some things for the first time in Wescon.
Right.
There's going to be a gala dinner at night with both liquid diet and the normal diet.
Welcome everybody back to the Foundry Podcast. Today we're sitting here with Mr. Saibal Sen, who is the Western Region Chairman.
Yeah.
Great to have you on the show.
Yeah, good to meet you, Ian.
Yeah, thank you.
Pleasure.
We've been actually trying to collaborate over the last 6 months since he has assumed this position.
Yeah.
Right, you've been Western Region
Chairman. I took over Chairman Western Region in May, end of May.
Right.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's been a while now.
Yeah.
Mr. Saibal Sen is a managing director of TechnoSeal, Impregnation. Correct. That's mainly what you do on the business side of things.
Yeah, it's a group of companies.
Correct.
Involved in impregnation of castings.
Correct.
Where we in ImpregnSeal we make the machines.
Right.
And in TechnoSeal we make the resin, the chemical.
Right.
Yeah.
So this is basically to secure castings from like radiography. Maybe
basically any casting comes out with inherent porosities.
Okay.
It can't be avoided because it's because the gases in the molten metal.
Right.
So when the gases escape, when the metal is solidifying, you end up with porous parts, leakage parts. And if these castings after machining, if they have to hold any kind of fluid under pressure, it could be air, water, diesel, petrol, oil, anything, the casting can't leak. So they have to impregnate this. So impregnation is more of a quality assurance tool now, where we say we make a good casting better. We don't say that we can salvage a bad casting.
So like 100% of castings go through this process,
castings,
and then you're assured of a good casting.
Especially in the automotive sector, in the engine parts, they're all impregnated so that for years on the field, they should not leak.
Right.
Basically. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
So coming back to Western Region, he's been chairman of the Western Region for about 6 months now.
Yeah, it's almost.
So just off, I mean, on camera, how has it been? What has this role been for you like? What's the journey been for you like? Because it's a very big responsibility.
Yeah, I'll tell you that, in IIF, I've been involved since 1983.
Okay.
Yeah. The first exhibition in IIF I attended was 1983 or 84 in Delhi. Okay. At the Ashoka Hotel in those days. Since then, because I then started my company in 1989, I was very busy to take up positions in IIF.
Right.
So all along I was more or less confined to the Pune chapter, but supporting them all the way to upgrade the chapter's activities, etc.
Right.
But now over the last couple of years, once they got me in on the Western Region office bearers thing as a secretary and vice chairman. Right. So obviously I had to take up this position as chairman, which I avoided last year. Right. Prayut Bhamawat. So I told him, you take over, I'll do it next year. Correct. And then this year I had to come in. Yeah. That's great. It's been 6 months now.
That's great. Yeah. So are you liking it?
Yes, it's more of a passion actually. Right. Frankly, these are honorary jobs that we do. Right. But of course, there's a hidden benefit of a networking and interaction with people, and you meet everybody from the foundry fraternity. But also, it takes up a lot of time.
Right. It does.
So luckily in our company, things are set up. There's a CEO. I have my brother also who works with me. Correct. So I can take a lot of time out now to expand the activities.
So now you're in a proper position to be able to afford the time.
I think so.
Give full, cater to the role justifiably.
Yeah.
Right. So we are here mainly today to talk about Wescon.
Okay.
Right. So can you, maybe there are foundrymen here who are not part of IIF.
Right.
And they wouldn't have heard about what Wescon is. Right. So just in layman terms, what is Wescon? Yeah.
See, Wescon basically, if you term it as a conference, it's a regional conference. Okay. In IIF, you have the annual conference called IFC, Indian Foundry Congress.
Right, which I'm sure most people have heard about.
Yeah, you must be knowing that. That always comes up in February of the year. But Wescon comes up at this time as a regional conference. Okay. And it is not restricted to the region, but we have Wescon in the west, you have NRCon in the north, and SRCon in the south, and ERCon on the east. Okay, so you have 4 regional conferences.
So the west part is Western.
Yes, so the Wescon covers 8 foundry chapters in Ahmedabad, Baroda, Kolhapur, Pune, Mumbai, Indore, Rajkot, Nagpur. These areas, mainly MP, Gujarat and Maharashtra, this area. So Wescon, basically what we mainly intend to do is to get together a lot of foundrymen from this area,
right,
to interact with each other, to connect with each other, and we try to create a platform for business.
right,
You see, basically with so many years of experience, most foundry professionals, most foundry technocrats, they know a lot of technology.
correct.
So they are not always looking for technology. Yes,
yeah,
technology
right,
is important,
right,
but the major part, which at least my focus has been at Wescon this year, is to plan where there is B2B connect for business, and people have a takeaway on commercial side also, apart from technology and
correct,
business.
right,
That's why this year on Wescon we have thought of having a mini exhibition. We have a networking lounge on
okay,
Wescon, and we have various technical presentations, tech marts, panel discussions, etc.
correct.
So that is Wescon basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Western Region Conference.
It's a Western
Right.
Regional Conference.
I
Yes.
personally have been to a couple of Wescons.
Okay.
This was maybe back about 5-6 years ago when I was actually training in the foundry industry, but I was not very serious with like this is the industry I'm actually going to be in.
Yeah.
But over the last 3 years, that has absolutely changed. Like from attending the Kolhapur Wescon, which was a huge success.
Yeah, it was good. Yes.
It was very well arranged.
Hmm.
Kolhapur has a unfair advantage. They have a lot more foundries.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
And Kolhapur has an advantage, lot more foundries.
Right.
The foundry segment is very close knit.
Correct.
And
Everybody knows everyone.
They are connected a lot more socially also.
Right.
I mean, the foundry circle is a very big social connect for them.
And to travel between each other's factories takes them a couple of minutes.
Yeah, and it's it's a smaller town, smaller city, and the industrial areas are so close to each other that these people, I think, every day evening they get together after the office hours, which doesn't happen in Pune.
In metro cities, it takes us a few hours to.
So it's really a challenge in cities like Pune or Mumbai to get people together.
Correct. So then there was the Wescon in Daman, which was really amazing. I think during Prayut's time.
Yes.
That was very well arranged. Thank you, Prayut. And team, I think Baroda team and Ahmedabad team really
they did a good job.
Did a really good job.
Yeah.
So now you have a large shoes to fill.
We are doing Wescon in Pune, I think, after many years, because when I announced in the Pune chapter council that should we do it here, should we do it, because Western region Wescon can be done in any of these chapters, should we do it in Mumbai, etc., then everybody had a consensus that no, let's do it in Pune. We've never done it in Pune. I think, if not mistaken, the first or only the second Wescon in Pune. And so they are enthusiastic about it completely.
I think it will turn out well, because Pune is also centralized.
Yes.
You'll be drawing some of that Kolhapur crowd.
Yes.
Perhaps some of the people from, Gujarat as well will be.
Yeah, and Gujarat, of course, and also Indore is the co-host chapter.
Oh, okay.
So we're trying to get in delegates from Indore as well.
Right.
So, and Mumbai is close by.
Right.
So, no, it'll work well. I'm sure it'll work well. The team is good.
Yeah, and you guys are really working hard, I can see.
Yes, everybody's putting in efforts. We meet regularly to track all the activities. Yeah, things are working out. Yes.
So what exactly, if I'm a foundry person now listening to this, and I'm contemplating, whether should I go, should I not go, what last piece of information can you give someone who would like to join, but who just needs that, just that push to take a decision?
Yeah, I always feel these conferences, especially like Wescon, the major benefit that you get here is a reconnect.
Right.
It's not that I'm going to meet people I don't know.
Correct.
But what happens in your daily life, in your professional life, you don't meet them so often.
Correct.
So this becomes one platform where over 2 or 3 days,
right,
you are, continuously in touch with people. There is a lounge for networking. You can go and sit and discuss business, quality, production, whatever you want.
Right.
Then there's an exhibition, a small exhibition where you can see some suppliers exhibiting some important products that they have. And technology, yes, this year we are also focusing a lot on aluminium.
Okay.
In Wescon.
That's a first, because aluminium is usually something that's,
in fact, you must be knowing Bharat Gite. He's the managing director of Taural, which is a very large, specialized aluminium sand casting unit, very special, with collaboration with Taural from Poland. He's the chief guest. Mr. Rajesh Mishra, Vulcan has ferrous and non-ferrous both.
Right.
So we have got in a lot of focus on aluminium along with the ferrous. Apart from that, apart from the technology side, we are also getting in, because see, the theme for Wescon, what we did is, in the committee, we expanded the theme of reach to global outreach.
Okay.
So the theme for Wescon is global outreach.
Okay.
Okay. Why global outreach is, we always talk of exports.
Right.
Now, India has great potential in terms of technology, trained manpower,
Correct.
good products, cost effectively produced.
Correct.
But what are the other aspects of exports?
Correct.
Like now, like the European Union, if you want to export anything to them,
right.
they have got in this carbon footprint and the carbon border adjustment mechanism, CBAM,
right.
carbon pricing, which is imposed.
Right.
Because of course their intentions are good. They're doing it for climate change. They want to make sure that the countries where a lot of Westerners are shifting production to countries in the East for lower cost, but then that comes with the pain of this carbon footprint.
Right.
So what they are doing is, so that the parts imported from these countries should also qualify as per EU norms on carbon.
Right.
So this carbon footprint and CBM is a mechanism where they try to get everybody on a level playing field.
Okay.
And they impose levies.
Right.
If the carbon footprint of a country is very high, then they're exporting to a country where the carbon footprints are low. So they will have their own calculations, a formula to level out the pricing, so that the domestic manufacturers there are not affected by this import.
Correct.
Because it comes from a country producing at a lower cost with maybe a lot of carbon emissions.
Yeah, because even compliance has its cost.
Yes.
Right.
So in this year in Wescon, we are focusing a lot on ESG, CBM, carbon footprint, green, and all the regulations required for exports.
Right.
That's why the theme is global outreach and expanding frontiers.
Correct.
But it comes with expectations and has its own rewards. So that's the theme.
Right. That's great.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. I mean, apart from the fact that you also get to network, as Mr. Sen mentioned, you get to meet everybody from the region.
Yes.
I think that happens very rarely, once in every 6 months.
Yeah.
I believe the last time, in fact, I'll tell you a funny story. The last time we were here at the regional conference in Pune, coincidentally at your orientation.
Yes.
It was exactly when we started this podcast.
Okay.
So just before we ended up at your place with Suresh.
Yeah.
That morning we got up early. We filmed the first episode at the Sayaji Hotel itself. Okay. And that was where the podcast was born.
I had seen that. Suresh Chavan's interview.
So that was when we actually started our first episode. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
You've been instrumental in getting us to start.
All the best. I hope it's doing well.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So thank you so much. Guys, if you're watching and you'll want to maybe register for Wescon, we will leave the link in the description below.
Yeah.
I think there are some incentives whether you're an IIF member or whether you're not.
There are different sponsorship packages.
Okay.
And also delegate registration rates.
Right.
For IIF member, it's not a big difference, but slightly lesser than a non-member.
And also the stay at Orchid is incentivized.
And the Orchid stay is very, very reasonably done. See, we are only charging for a 2-day conference.
Subsidized, right?
Yeah, subsidized rates for that, and even the room rates are subsidized.
Correct.
So on a double occupancy basis, it's very reasonable.
Yeah, it really it's a no-brainer.
And also this year we are doing some things for the first time in Wescon.
Okay.
Is that on the 16th of December evening, the prior evening to Wescon inauguration, we have something called as Leadcon.
Okay.
Which is a conclave of leaders of Western India. Okay. So we are trying to get in at least a few leaders from each chapter of Western region and get them together along with foundry leaders from Pune and get them together on one platform. And we have organized an evening. The agenda is to have a talk
like an open mic sort of setting on a stage?
No, yeah, it can be. It's interactive.
Right.
It's going to be interactive, but there will be a dais and there will be a presentation by somebody on energy conservation.
Okay.
And somebody on productivity improvement with lean management and stuff.
Right.
2 things which are important for the foundry leaders.
So this is the first time we've seen that there is an event prior to the first, inauguration day.
Yeah, I am not sure if any Wescon has done it before, but we have planned it this time. We call it a Foundry Leaders Meet called Leadcon.
Right.
And we'll have good presentations and then people can interact with each other.
Correct.
So apart from the Wescon networking, which is going to be larger, maybe 250, 300 delegates, this is going to be on invitation only, about 70, 80 CEOs, foundry leaders, who can interact with each other, speak about foundry policies, government policies and the foundry scenario in India, worldwide. So I think that will be a good kind of an initiative. And apart from that, we've also created a lounge, which we are calling, which I think is being done first time. It's called as the IIF Centers of Excellence Lounge.
Okay.
See, IIF has 4 centers of excellence. One is Foundry Informatics Center in Delhi, FIC. Then you have NCP in Kolkata, National Center of Export Promotion, which is just opened.
Right.
And then you have CET in Chennai on the technology side. And you have NCTS in Pune, National Center of National Center of Technical Services in Pune. So these 4 centers of excellence will be given table space in the lounge, and there'll be representatives where delegates can come and talk to them to understand the activities of the COEs.
I think that's very important because on webinars, it's people have to take up like a very large amount of time to attend these these webinars and live calls. But if you're already present in Pune, if you're in the room, if you're already socializing, it makes it much more accessible.
Correct.
Right.
So we thought this is a good way for delegates to know that centers of excellence exists. And not many members may be knowing the activities of the centers also. They understand, talk to the representatives and take advantage of the activities. And if they have a demand for some technical thing to be done, they can tell them and they can do it for them.
Correct.
So that is the lounge created. And we are also going to call it the Hall of Fame of Western Region. What we have planned is all along in the lounge, there will be memorable photographs of events of Western Region over the past few years.
Wow.
So for people to see that, make it interesting.
I think this is really good stuff. So that's it, guys. Register. We'll leave the links in the description.
Yeah.
And where can we reach out to you, Mr. Sen?
Western Region has a LinkedIn page which is operational.
Okay.
So they can get onto that.
Got it.
Yeah.
So you can reach out to Mr. Sen through the various links we'll put in the description.
Yeah.
And thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. It was a pleasure talking to you.
Seeing a majority of you guys at the event.
It was a pleasure talking to you. And lastly, one appeal that requesting majority of the foundrymen to please come to Wescon, meet all of us, meet each other, interact, network with each other, and contribute to the conference, because apart from the technology side, the exhibition and whatever we spoke, there's going to be also entertaining evenings. There's going to be a gala dinner at night with both liquid diet and the normal diet.
You get to see both personalities of people you're dealing with.
Yeah, and the normal diet, as well as it's going to be nice. And there's going to be music in the evening, dance and music. So we are trying to make it a fun event.
Right. It always has been actually.
It's always been. It's always been. IIF events are always fun events. Evenings are fun. During the day, it's business. Yeah.
That's great. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for being
pleasure talking to you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thank you. Bye.